Okay, hello guys. I'm trying to make this a quick video because it's actually on the day of the ESL 1 day 1 best of 1 matches. So initially I had initial feelings about the groups for ESL 1 Cologne 2016, but right now this is my finalized picks for day 1. So after giving some consideration and uh, reading through some of the analysis given by analysts who are more professional than me, I think I've decided to go with the risk of picking Australis over Dignitas. But if you ask me, my personal opinion is more of like because it's the best of 1 and it's a domestic matchup, so I would give it a 55 to 45% kind of thing in terms of betting odds that Australis will win over Dignitas, but it's only for 55% likelihood. I'm still going to skip Counter Logic Gaming and Gambit because it's really a toss up for me for that one. It's almost 50-50 because Gambit is like they've shown nice performances in the past major, but right now with the lineup change of Spaz into the team, it's quite hard to predict. But if you want me to give an estimate, I think it would be like 55 or 60% against 45% and 40% for CLG. So if I were to pick one, I would say that Gambit will win this. Navi and Flipside, I think I did mention before in my previous video, the likelihood of Navi losing to Flipside is, on paper it's quite low, but I think if you want to give me if you want me to give another betting percentage, I would say like 75 to 25. Yeah, cause it's best of 1. So if all the factors fall into place, if all the right things click together, anyone can pull an upset. So as you can, I will give an example. If I'm not wrong, is at it's not Gaming Paradise. I think it's the one where the LAN was at Split, the one with the cringe stage host, put your cans in the air. Yeah, I think at that event NRG, a tier 2 American team actually managed to upset NVR's with Tapson as a stand-in. So that's the beauty of CS. If you play well, you can actually upset the top dogs. So anyway, going back to point, Navi against Flipside, 75% chance for Navi to win. And for Ninjas in Pajamas versus Optic, I don't really see Optic winning this lah. So 75% Nip against 25% Optic Gaming. For Liquid and NVRs, that's another new pick I decided to go with. I decided that the raw firepower of Simple there, if he manages to show up, will prove a lot of problems for NVRs. So I would say that Liquid would probably win with a 55% likelihood, because based on what I read, NVRs has been improving again as of lately, so it's almost like a toss up, and this is I think this is quite one of the riskiest picks that I've made for today. So 55 against 45, Liquid over NVRs. VP versus Mousesports. I'm gonna skip this, but if you want me to give a percentage on it, I would say, because Mousesports has let me down in the past. I was rooting for them to go through to the quarterfinals and they managed to choke. I would say VP 55-45. SK versus G2. G2 has been an upward trend, so this is actually, it might seem like a safe pick because SK is considered top 1 based on HLTV rankings. But I would say that G2 have a 40% likelihood. Again, it's a best of 1, so it's really hard to say. If it's a best of 3, then I would have definitely gone with SK because SK is just a better team overall. So I would say SK over G2 with a 60% likelihood. Fnatic versus FaZe Clan. Even though Olaf Meister just re-entered Fnatic, I think that FaZe is just they are too weak of a team in terms of team play because they have to communicate in English, which is not really their native languages. So there might be some delays in communication as their brains try to process as in relay the information to their teammates in English and not their native languages. And I just think that Fnatic is the better overall team. There is a reason why they were top 1 for a longer streak of time in 2015. And with Olaf Meister coming back, I think they should be able to get themselves organized in terms for this tournament. And I remember that Flusha in interviews actually said that he spent the most amount of effort for majors. So I would say Fnatic with a 60 to 65% chance over FaZe. And I will move on to the fantasy team. This is actually the harder game to play compared to the team pick'em because it's like you won't know which 5 players are on fire. But I would say that you need to use some common sense and you must use calculated risks when you are playing the fantasy team. Like for example, you shouldn't pick an eco warrior if you don't expect the team that the player is playing from to eco a lot. I know this might sound ironic because I picked FNX here, but I would say that let me give you an example. If let's say I were to put Simple in Eco Warrior, it would kind of make sense because if NVS keeps forcing them to go on an eco round or armor pistol buy, then Simple has more chances to use the pistol. That's what I mean by you need to use your common sense and you must use calculated risks and think deeply lah. You have to analyze and try and think what's all the possible things that could happen, because the reason why I gave NVS versus Liquid as the example is because NVS is known for their force buys, and if they make their force buys work, they have to force the other team to be on eco or force buy of their own, which includes pistols like the Ragnar. That is why Simple might have been a better choice. But I think that I'm sort of relying on Simple to get quite a few clutch kills against NVS. So, and G2 with their upward trend, I think that FNX might need to eco, but this might not be my final fantasy team pickup. It's just a tentative one. It's a temporary one. But that is for just the Clutch King and Eco Warrior. For Commando, I'm very confident with Flusha because like I said earlier in the video, he puts in the most amount of effort for majors. So Commando is for Flusha, especially because they seem to be on a weaker, they seem to be playing against FaZe, which are a weaker team compared to them on paper. So I feel that the Commando, the bonus is that there is bonus points equals to their kill death difference. So I feel that Flusha will be able to have a good Commando performance. Anyway, C's as the entry, because this is again another example of me doing some deep thinking and some analysis about the uh, matches, because they're up against Flipside. Flipside is so bad compared to teams like FaZe, at least in terms of the fragging firepower. So I would say that C's will be able to get easy entries against Flipside. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm choosing him as the entry fragger. Anyway, I've decided that I want to focus more on the team pick camp for this tournament rather than the fantasy, because the fantasy is really a bit too hard to aim for a good trophy. So yep, Siege is the entry and Fallen is the sniper. That's the only sticker I have because of the amount of money that I don't want to spend on the fantasy team pick camp for now. So another tip is that you must try to buy the players who you think the teams will go far in the tournament. That will save you a lot of money on spending on additional stickers. And that actually brings me to the end of this video.